one camp presenter, add a splash of cheekiness and a sprinkling of fairy dust, and you get Jamie Wake. He's awake in Wales.
Hello and welcome to Wales. I think I have to say Bore-da. I'm not sure. Welsh friends, correct me if I am wrong, but don't adjust your sets. I am not the love child of Alan Carr and Gemma Collins, or am I? Who knows? This is Awake in Wales, brought to you by F.O.D TV, which is in turn brought to you by Club F.O.D. Remember, I can see your comments, so if you do want to put a comment, the banter is always good. It's been such a long time. It really has. Since we did this, really. So many things have happened since I was last doing this for Club F.O.D. How many Prime Ministers we had? I think another 2. We had 2 during the whole time we were doing F.O.D TV. We've had a war that's still going on. Climate crisis, an energy crisis. What else has happened? I guess the repercussions of Brexit are also coming through as well. I'm hoping the comments work on the system, or I may have to play around with bits and bobs in the background. So if someone can make a comment for me, I can see if it comes through on the system or not, because I can see, oh God, viewers coming through quite quickly, which was a bit of a surprise as we started again so soon. Not at all. The comments are working. Thank you. And Mark, let me just put you on the screen. He says, woohoo, comments about. I'm just going to move the little messages up there. Nice to see you nice. I can't remember how he does it. Apparently, if I press a button, I can hide a comment. There we go. And Brendan says, hey there. That's a song. Hey. Or maybe someone with a better singing voice might be able to do that a little better. Remember, if you do want to make a comment, as the boys on YouTube certainly have done just now, all you got to do is have a comment and I will show the best ones. If you're watching this on my personal Facebook, because I'm so vain and egotistical that I do that, I won't necessarily see your comments because of permissions, allegedly. So if you watch on YouTube and if you watch on the Facebook page, both now are just Club F.O.D, youtube.com/@Club F.O.D and facebook.com/Club F.O.D. That's how you do it. Oh, I could almost remember the scripts we had for this. And Charlie says, well, I haven't seen this in a while. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Charlie. Nice to see you. I did see you, I think, last time I came to Reading, because I do come back. This is not a fake set, can I point out? We've gone all natural. Let me just hide that comment. I'm trying not to fart. I just realised I should have gone before I came on there. We're in the library. I've got my copper pipe and there's a body on the floor. Wouldn't be the first time, would it, in my life? I joke, I jest, of course. So what is Awake in Wales? Well, actually, it just does exactly what it says on the tin. I'm Jamie Wake, and I haven't got my name come up, so let me just do that. Jamie Wake, come on the screen. Thank you very much. And I now live in Wales, and we need stuff to happen again at Club F.O.D. So I promised that when I moved into another country, because technically I have, I would start the F.O.D TV shows once again and help build those up, because we know from the lockdown, when we're doing the lockdown listings, just how important connection is. And now that we've expanded as a charity, and certainly in the Welsh Valleys, connection has never been so important. Mano says, I wonder who Mano is, the big clever books are mine, the colouring books are his. I have deliberately blurred the books on the bookshelf, I have to say, because I didn't want people knowing too much about my life, although there is a locked safe in the corner with the other stuff that I can't show. Gary says, hey, Jamie, great to see you back. I actually did see you all last night at a Club F.O.D meeting. But yes, it is great to be talking like an idiot into a lens on your own. It's very, very, very tough. So what's going to happen in the next hour of your life that you will never get back? Well, I'm going to rant probably. That's usually what happens when I go on a show. But I'm not going to be on my own tonight. So I do have a special guest coming up. And that, we'll let you know who that is nearer the time. I've got so many screens open on my computer that I can't see what we're actually talking about. So I've got a few subjects that I want to talk to you about tonight, or I want to get your opinions of. But I'll wait for them we'll wait until my guest arrives, because you've known me for a number of years to go off at a tangent and go off on a rant. Very, very gifted in my life to do that. But I've got someone who's equally as good as me at doing that. So I can't wait. That's be quite exciting to do that. Charlie says, I have one guess. Is it Sophie? I remember you and her working together during lockdown live. I'm not going to say if it is or not. Sophie, for those of you who are new to F.O.D TV, Club F.O.D, and me really, Sophie is my on-screen showbiz wife, and we used to do a show every Saturday called Saturday, and we had to walk around with sunglasses and headscarves because it became too much, the popularity after doing the show. But I'm sending a message which I will believe will be about 30 seconds a minute behind out there in TV land to my special guest. You can dial in now, and then I'll bring you onto the screen as soon as you arrive. So nice to see some of you commenting. Please carry on doing that, because you talk means I have less to say. Although I have lubed up my voice. Look, Mr. Happy. Got my cup of tea. It's a Wednesday, so I couldn't really have wine. I probably will after I finish. And what's that? Have to do the sound effects just so you know it's real tea, obviously. And I am being so much better. Not drinking all the time, although I think some of you that know me might disagree. So I have moved to Wales, so I'm no longer in Reading, and there are some big differences here, mainly the climate, I have to say. We moved here in November. Did I not have the longest leaving do in history? And literally moved in and it hasn't stopped raining. So you can blame me for July, I think. And then the other thing that's very different here, apart from the fact, look, it's not IKEA furniture, is the hills. And I can roll down to the local bar, or pub, really, very, very easily. Nice and easy. Stroll down. It's about 3 different types of hill to get to it, but it's a walk back that kills me. Everything is a steep hill. My guest is in the green room. I can see them arriving. We'll be there with you very, very shortly. I need to assign you a position on the screen. There we go. So yes, the hill coming up makes me sound like Darth Vader. It's got so bad that I now carry binoculars on the way back from the pub, just because I have to stop and try and get my breath back. I want people to not think I'm dying, but that I actually am watching nature, because that's what you do in the countryside. Now, if I press a magic button, my guest should arrive. I'm hoping. I need to turn your title on. There we go. And let's welcome today's special guest. And let's go through the square window. It's Brendan. Let's see if I can hear you.
I'm back again.
You're back again. This is like Sunday, Tuesday. We've had a lot of meetings.
I thought there was more than that. It just seemed like every night.
Yes, I think it's a beauty of Teams. Now, I deliberately put myself on the other side of the screen, so when I look at the screen, it looks like I'm looking at you. But I've realised as I've done that, I look just like pervy watching you in bed. That is not really what I was aiming for. But horses for courses.
That is your look, Jamie.
Well, I got my come to bed eyes. Remember those from photos? Yeah. Or cataracts.
I thought that was glaucoma.
I need subtitles, don't I? I just realised to know what anyone's saying. I found the knockoffs. I've got the knockoffs in, but it's very, very quiet in my ear. So how are you doing, Brendan? And Brendan, if you don't know everyone at home, is one of the trustees of Club F.O.D.
You're very tinny, Jamie.
Tinny.
It's more like a tin mine than a coal mine over there in Wales.
We have a Wizard of Oz theme, so you're very good at bringing that in. I'm more like Jaundice Man at the moment. It's one of the things with the climate, Brendan, and you must know this from Ireland, where it's a bit damp in the air as well, is that if I smoke a little bit. I'm not a heavy smoker, but well, that may be a lie. But my skin is staining here in Wales, and then when I came back from Memorial recently, I didn't have it. It was different.
Your voice is really tinny, Jamie.
Oh, I just thought you thought I looked tinny.
No, you look fat.
I discovered Welsh cakes, everyone. It's why. But even though I sound tinny, Brendan, can you still make out what I'm saying?
I can a little bit better now.
Okay. I'm leaning into the microphone. Remember, I usually get told off for being loud. So I'll try to be good.
That's not easy for a shy guy.
So how have you been?
All good, all good. Work is still the same. It's not really. It's changing. I'm looking after some other stuff now. They're putting me in charge of other stuff. But F.O.D is keeping us really busy, especially on the run up to Pride and stuff as well.
It's nice to be busy because it keeps people out of trouble. Or is that not true?
Too tired for trouble.
So, I did ask you last minute. I do apologise for that today, but it made sense bringing yourself on for the first show, as you are one of my best friends. Not only that, but because I'm in another country. You're down on ground level, grassroots level, doing everything. So the dog's just come in, so I've got to make sure the lights don't fall over. Out, please. What's been happening with Club F.O.D back in Reading?
Well, just last weekend we had our beach party. It was a real success. I think everybody that went there really enjoyed it. We are diversifying a little bit with having Martin DJ Funkle every second. Say we'd have the F.O.D night, and then 2 weeks later, people are getting used to that. Whether we're there on a F.O.D night or an ordinary night, we're all about F.O.D and going around talking to people about F.O.D anyway, even if it's just a Friday evening or whatever. Everybody knows about F.O.D now that goes into the Black River. Or if they don't, they're dead.
Well, I've been a long time since I've been to an F.O.D night, which I miss them dreadfully. So how have people changed? Because I remember when we all started doing this stuff originally, it was because everything was closed down during the pandemic, and what we had previously to COVID was a little different to it was very different actually to what came back. How close are we to gaining that momentum within the community again?
I think, which is what we're all about again, I think we're actually diversifying a lot more. Not only with regards to location, but the people that come in. There's a lot of regular now, especially from the trans community. Like they're in the pub now nearly every week. They call it home, just like we say there's no place like home. They themselves have actually told me the Bladgrave is their home now. And like we have all the regulars, some have probably not many have eased off, and we're getting more and more regulars all the time now.
It sounds like we've got to return to a big community again, which sounds amazing, really.
Yeah.
A few comments come through while we've been chatting. Some are not so kind, so I won't show them. They were all talking about the mic levels and headphone levels. Mark says, honest opinion, Jamie sounds fine. The word you're looking for is wine, Mark. Wine. It's a typo. But thank you. Brendan is all about the bass. Oh, he's done a musical reference there.
No, what Mark is trying to say is that I'm Butch. The butcher of the two, anyway.
I have no answer to that, so I'll change the subject. Amy has sent a message. She goes, I'm currently in Cardiff and all of a sudden you come online. Is that a warning? Oh, you should have said, Amy. I would have closed the M4.
Don't get on Amy's train.
Mark says Wales is taking over. And then Gary says, defo. Defo. Oh, is that a slang term to say Jamie's defo? Still can't hear.
Still not funny either.
No, it's not. It's not really. It's yeah. But you try being deaf with the Welsh accent. It's very difficult.
Yeah, you don't have a Welsh accent.
We're no strangers to controversy, Brandon.
No.
And obviously, as quite funny that Amy's come up on that actually, because she's always just called this Jamie's moaning session every Friday night. But I used to be able to do these things where we're not going to make chocolates or the other wine or whatever we used to do on the last shows, just because it's too far to run to the kitchen and back of a camera. But we did used to talk about hard-hitting subjects, a bit like Loose Women, like the programme Loose Women, not the subject is Loose Women. I have to make sure that is understood. So we've got some subjects, but I want to get your input, if I may, Brandon. Now, I think back to when I first met you, and I very rarely saw people like you, Mark Young, ever use debit card or use payment on their phone or watches and stuff. A lot of people used to use cash. Now, I've never, I always watch it. I want to buy something. What's your opinion on when people say cash is king?
And watch is queen. Kind of like, whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. I always do have cash on me, but I usually pay with my watch. A lot of people do now.
I've moved to an area where very rarely they take debit or credit cards, which is why I thought about this subject. So, do you know, if you, like, when I had to put a new roof on the house, no one has 15 grand.
So, and just imagine you holding up your watch. Pay for me roof.
But it's things like tradesmen and stuff now only want cash. Or if you go to a shop, they will say, no, it's Wednesday, we only have cash on a Wednesday. A lot of businesses, it's weird, they do this around here. So
I would imagine that's illegal.
Well, it used to be illegal that you couldn't discriminate. You had to treat card payers the same as cash payers. And I automatically assume it's the other way around as well. But I just find it unusual. I didn't know if the pandemic made us all use card a lot more.
We called it Amazon.
I called it Deliveroo. Other outlets for shopping and food are available. I have to say that. Yeah. Yes. Yes. My Amazon collection was a bit big. The other news that this week I found. Let me just put my little jingle on. Today's gay gossip. It's not really gossip at all. Have you seen the news story about Costa Coffee and their slogan on the van?
No.
So, Costa Coffee, and it was just basically the news. All of a sudden, we've got a lot of people wanting to boycott Costa Coffee. Now, I can think of other reasons to boycott Costa Coffee, mainly the price of a coffee, over an image they had on the side of the van. It was actually from last year for Brighton and Hove Pride. And it shows I think it's a trans man that's had upper surgery and showing the scars. But a lot of people have been doing boycotting or saying we need to boycott Costa, even though it's from a van from last year, or a picture from last year. It's only just come out on Twitter, or X, I think it's called now. I'm going to X you.
Yeah, it's called X.
I get confused. So what were your first thoughts hearing that? And obviously you haven't heard that one. Sorry, I should have.
No, I hadn't. It's a very tough one for me because obviously they weren't able to put that on the side of their van. Like it wasn't just we're going to, that they took a picture and put it up. They had to have the person's permission, whatever message the trans person was trying to put across. I'd go to the trans person and find out. I'd be very curious as to why, because that's very personal and really exposing yourself to people, And from the Costa side, why would you want to do that? Why would that be? Oh, look at us, we're so woke and stuff,
I think the problem with woke, and because woke isn't used as how it's meant to be used, is it? Woke's being aware.
I was just pretending to be cool, and I was down with the kids, Jamie. I'm 300 and gay years. You must remember.
But no, I think people now describe us as woke because they want it to be an insult, And actually, I'm quite pleased if someone thinks I am woke, because it just means I'm aware and I've taken the effort to notice what's going on. Costa Coffee did release a statement, I think it was yesterday, over this. And I just find it all so bizarre that it's from a year ago, but it's only catching up on social media now. Social media is meant to be really fast and funky, but it's not. In a statement, Costa Coffee said, at Costa, we celebrate the diversity of our customers, team members and our partners. We want everyone that interacts with us to experience the inclusive environment that we create, to encourage people to feel welcome, free and unashamedly proud to be themselves. The mural in its entirety showcases and celebrates inclusivity. They basically said, sod ya, haven't they really, to the haters?
But did they have a fleet of vans showing all different aspects of our community?
No, I think it was just this one van. I believe, but I could be wrong. Someone might need to correct me. It's from literally a van from last year. For last year's Brighton Pride. Why it's suddenly appeared now, I don't know.
Yeah. Like if it had been part of a wider campaign, it would make more sense. Otherwise, you're targeting a section of our community.
I don't think Costa were doing it deliberately. I just think they were looking to represent someone that may not have been represented as best as they should have. Hence why we have progress flags and stuff now. But I think any visibility is always going to get controversy anyway, and create the hate. Amy says, have I found a sheep yet? Amy, it's full of sheep. It really is. Not down our bit. They like to be higher up in the mountain, which is lovely. And she says, don't use those multicoloured funky letters. Your name looks like Jenny LaJoke.
That's a famous Welsh sweet, Jamie, from when she was young.
Oh, is it?
No.
Or are you joking?
I'm joking.
I have to check. I forget you lot wind me up and get me in trouble. What else did I spot in the news today? I have to say as well, at the moment, this whole show is being powered by the sun, even though it's gone dark. So the F.O.D's gone green, or greener. One of the colours of the rainbow as well, which is lucky. So solar panels are literally powering F.O.D's show tonight. But one thing I've noticed in the news, Brendan, is that we know there's a climate emergency. We know there's issues with the pollution, with energy that's being created, all you know what I'm saying. We're trying to reduce our oil, gas usage, remove petrol, and the current political party, because we try to be unbiased, I won't say which party they are trying to wind back on that. What do you do anything in your own life, Brendan, to help the environment or do good or anything like
Well, like in our present position, we can't do a lot really. But even when we go camping or out in the gazebo, everything that we have out there, like I use the gazebo for working out, like because I work from home 3 days a week, and like up in the gazebo on the roof, I've got solar panels that kind of power this like a foot cubed size, basically a generator that has like sockets and USB ports and all the rest of it. But that's really all I can. Well, I get the bus to work because Martin has the car, obviously. But other than that, not a lot I can do in their current position. Obviously, when we get our own place, there'll be a lot more stuff that we can do and that we would do.
Well, you're doing what you can, is what you're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
which is great. And obviously, I mean, you're sitting in Reading, so your MP is still the person who used to try and lead on the climate. COP, I think they used to call it, dear Alok Sharma. So we made a lot of promises, didn't we, as a country, and we were all going to. Actually, we led on a lot of stuff as well, I think, to reach net zero by 2050. Did you ever think that was an achievable something to do for the UK? Or?
It is achievable, but just I don't think it's achievable under the existing government, especially when now they're, obviously their biggest supporters that's come out as well, like the petrol companies like Shell and all the rest of it. So while they're, the government are marionettes now, as far as I'm concerned, that will jump wherever their big money supporters tell them to.
I love the fact you're thinking very carefully and not swearing. So thank you, Brendan, because it's it is hard when you talk about certain subjects.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another name for them, but I decided to refrain from that. but it began with C, so yeah, conservatives.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. Other political parties are available in the next election. Make sure you vote for them. Yeah, I think one of the strangest things I saw, and you remember what I was like during the pandemic. I was always following the money, following science, and actually doing quite well at second guessing every move government's made. But they've announced these 100, I think it's 100 licenses for exploration or getting oil. I can't remember if it's oil or gas. Now, isn't it funny that when Scotland wanted independence, they were told you can't have independence. Just, you've got no. There's nothing in the North Sea for you to get your money. But now we've got it, allegedly. This magic money tree, this government seems to shake, and it all comes down when they need it. And I would have thought. And I don't work in a big corporate or anything like that, so I don't really understand it. But my understanding is that if I was digging a hole in the sea, well, not a hole, I'm drilling, because it's going to hole will flood, won't it, if you dig a hole? And I've got the oil or gas coming out, and I put all that money into getting it, then surely I'd be putting it on the open market and trying to sell it to the highest bidder. Or am I missing something here?
I think it's the individual companies drill, is it?
Maybe I should have researched a bit more before I chose this subject. But no, we're meant to be doing it because it's going to be better for Britain. I love the fact that you do better for Britain rather than better for the United Kingdom. As now I'm not in
No,
Britain.
you mean the bit. It's not going to be good for you. Are in Britain. God Almighty!
But I'm in the UK.
Can you? Yeah, but it's the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, and it's the United Kingdom and Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But you're in both.
Oh, it gets so confusing, this international business.
It's not.
Very young.
It's absolutely not. Your beard says different.
My beard's got grayer, but that is. I'm glad I put a filter on. You can't really see it. My whole skin is like a tiramisu. I've been out camping, obviously, at the weekend, and the only bit of sun we've had in a while happened to be in Shrewsbury on Saturday. And well, you know this, Brendan. You've been to hot countries with me. I just go in the shade, I look at the sun, and I see. For some reason, I always burn. And I sat there. I was doing drag bingo actually with Baroness Mary Guns, and I thought, oh, it's a bit warm on my shoulders, a bit warm on my head. And then someone must have had something bright and colourful in front of me, and the sun was bouncing off on my face. It's the only way I can film. So I went to brush my hair, but I couldn't because there's so much skin.
You're gone very tinny again, Jamie.
That's just how I sound now. It's Welsh.
Yeah, you're the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
Amy says, have you played Cymru yet? I love the fact, Amy, you put it in phonetics for me so I could say it, so thank you for that. I recently hosted Mr. Level Wales and I couldn't pronounce, I kept saying Cymru, but it's Cymru, I think. Then I played Cymru, Spell Check is a load of ducking shoot. Oh, okay. Being naughty words there. Okay. Which is it? Oh, I thought you were doing it phonetically, and I thought for once I might have pronounced the word correctly, and now I haven't.
Yeah, I think it's Cymru, isn't it?
I don't know. I want to say Cumbria if I do that though, and then I
Yeah,
download
don't,
Jay
'cause
Goody.
that's definitely wrong.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about, Brendan, is what's coming up with Club F.O.D. So I do know there's something Friday, is that right?
Sorry, say that again, Jamie.
There's something happening Friday. Am I right in thinking?
Oh yeah, at the Blagrave, they're gonna have Lady M on. She was there one night a month or two ago now for what was it? It was for Sarah Wilmot and Tom's birthday. She's only been like she'd be around the 50 years mark, but she's actually been doing drag for the last year, and you know she came in and it was herself and Bodisha were doing a show, and like Bodisha introduced us. I've got no idea who this one is. And after Lady M was finished, Bodisha says, "Oh my God, she was amazing." So yeah, there she's going to be there. They're going to try and get her more often, but she's definitely going to be there this Friday night, and obviously that's going to coincide with Martin's birthday as well. So kind of, and like we actually met her when she wasn't in drag, and great banter. And kind of, so that'll be on Friday night. I think she starts at 8 o'clock in the Blagrave.
You heard it first. We didn't hear it here first because I saw it on Facebook. So
Yeah.
you heard it again. And also, which I was sort of trying to get you to allude to because I just double check. It should be Banbury Club F.O.D on Friday as well, is it?
Oh yes, it is. Sorry.
Or
Yeah.
are the committee there
Susie
coming to
has
Martin's
started-
birthday?
The meal is actually on Saturday night, not Friday.
So it's a Saturday. Phew.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out if it
Yeah.
was on or not discreetly, and it all went pear-shaped.
Yeah,
Trying to work
no.
it out.
Yeah, so I haven't heard otherwise, but if anybody's around Banbury, just like we're the last Saturday of the month in the Blagrave, Banbury is the first Friday of the month. And I can't. Do you remember the name of the pub, Jamie?
It is the Coach and Horses in Banbury.
Yeah. Coming
So,
shortly to Banbury. Yeah.
which is growing in size and number, not the pub, the Club F.O.D element inside.
Yeah.
This week
Yeah.
we've got an extension.
Yeah. Don't lean against the walls, everybody. Not all at once.
We can't go into the main road now.
Yeah.
So yes, the Coach and Horses in Banbury, which is our first, not event, it's one we're paying, our first expansion outside of Berkshire. So thank you to the team for Glory over there that have created something out of nothing. It's not easy to start from scratch. So thank you for that. Amy did put a post up saying if you were phonetics, it's pronounced. So I'm going to say that. Alexander Reed Hitchcliffe says, hello boys. Hello Alexander, how are you? I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday evening. Can you? I don't know if you can see it on your connection there, Brendan, when the messages come through or not.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, that's still working because sometimes it goes a bit temperamental.
Yeah.
Like me.
We're all having to. It's like revision for what we were doing during lockdown.
Yes, and I had to remember how to do things when I was looking at this earlier, going, well, what do I press? How do I get it? Couldn't get it started. So if you notice I might have been a minute late, it's because I didn't know how to press go.
Yeah, and it's like at least it's not green screen and a quiz with captions. You know, that was just. I can't. I don't know. I know it was lockdown, but. Well, most of us were all still working full time, so it was doing all of that during lockdown while having full time jobs for so long. It was brilliant fun, but that took a lot of effort.
And if anybody wants to go back and review some of the quiz nights and activities that we did all the way through, actually immediately the day of the pandemic, in fact, we were one of the first to turn around and say, we're going to be with you all the way through. And we were. And even when we had to sit at a table in a pub when they reopened but have a Scotch egg, we were there as well. Very, very, very proud. Talking about unusual things and odd things, now,
I won't take that personally.
Oh, Amy says, help me, I'm passing through Newport on the train. I know that feeling. I drive, that's why I drove to the memorial. It was not, mainly because the parking space was Newport, a bit dreadful. So in the valleys, because that's where I am, in the Welsh valleys, it's a different pace of life. And people have different opinions and thought processes. And social media, if you're a townie or from Reading or London, you see some things and you do titter to yourself. So I want to share a post that literally came up half an hour before we went live, and I was quickly trying to screenshot it and everything to get it because I thought I needed an example of what it's like, because I do come back and I tell people these stories and no one ever believes me. So this is a post that was posted in the local village. I need wine. Village Facebook group. A bit of an odd request, but contemplating ordering a Chinese takeaway for myself and my husband this weekend. I was wondering if anyone was ordering from one of the local takeaways to Glenarvan this weekend, so we could pop over and try a bit, socially distance in your garden, before we commit to buying a whole meal from somewhere. We can provide our own cutlery and paper plates. So you can read it yourselves a bit more. I know Brendan, you was ready to read that. Though.
I know, yeah, kind of. How to make friends and influence people.
Couldn't.
No, you can't, you weirdo.
I couldn't screenshot all of the responses because they're not appropriate for a charity to show. So the sanest one that I could screenshot, and I've had to colour in names so I don't identify in case it's one of my neighbours or something like that.
Uh, what
Is
did
this
Nano
one
do?
who said, always buys from there, he will let you try some, and the person said, can I sniff your spring roll?
Wow.
So, welcome to the Welsh Valleys, people. And
Mm.
why maybe I look greyer than I used to. Amy says, this is why I left. Because they wouldn't let her have a spring roll or something.
They didn't like her spring rolls.
It depends if you like the meat ones or the vegetarian ones. Is it the veggie ones I eat? I can't remember. Oh, you're not Mano, are you? Where is he? Oh, he's in the other room. I think it's the vegetarian ones. I
More
have
like
the
an
salad
Unjun
stuff.
Barty.
No,
Yeah,
no, that's
that would
Indian.
make sense. Because, well, you can have them with vegetables, or they're going to be the vegetarian ones, really, aren't they? With the vegetables,
Oh, I
the
guess
meat
so.
ones
Yes.
aren't veg. The meat ones aren't vegetarian.
And they say meat ones, and it's prawns, which is not meat at all. It's fish. Amy says no one's touching my spring roll. No, well we don't know
Oh, you're fucking.
if
Oh,
because you get mini ones or big ones.
but I heard her Unjun Barty is really popular.
We're going off a very weird and unusual tangent that
Sorry,
I will
Amy.
try navigate us
I know,
back
but
from.
hey, you invited me.
But
You
I always
should have known
forget.
better.
Sometimes you can always go off well in a direction we're not necessarily thinking about. And one of the big reasons I did want you on tonight, Brendan, was because not only do you have we've got Banbury on Friday with Club F.O.D, and then the last Saturday of the month. Remind me of the theme for last Saturday this month.
This month it's festival fever.
Festival Fever. That's it.
Yeah, it'll
And why
actually
have we
be like
chosen
the
Festival Fever?
well, obviously the following Saturday is going to be Reading Pride, so we're just going to take that Reading Pride Festival and turn it into a festival. You can dress for whatever festival, whether it's whether it's going to be Reading Pride, whether it's what's the other thing? What's the other Reading one called? My mind's gone blank.
Rewind.
No, that's well, yeah, that as well. Obviously, like a lot of us are going to rewind as well. That'll be all 80s stuff. Any sort of festival at all. Oh, Reading Festival. Yeah, anything at all. Damn right, it stinks, Amy. Anyway, yeah, so like anything to do with a festival, that's going to be the last Saturday of the month. It's going to be like really the start of the build up to Reading Pride. And we just thought, typical Club F.O.D, we're going to get in there first with our festival fever the Saturday before.
So launching Reading Pride Week or
Hmm.
Pride in Reading, however you want to describe that. It's not an official event. If you're watching Reading Pride, hello. But so I think we all normally used to do a drag ball. We're doing something different, and it gives more scope for fancy dress because we love fancy dress at Club F.O.D as
Who
well.
knew?
Had to buy a new garage just for the fancy dress. Now, talking about Reading Pride, I hear, well, not hear, I know this because I've been involved. Club F.O.D is
Yeah, you
doing
twat.
what for Reading Pride?
Well, what actually feels a bit weird is this is only going to be our third Reading Pride. One, we kind of ran their marquee for them, and then last year, if anybody was there that's not colorblind, you will have seen our marquee from space. It'll be the same sort of thing again this year. We'll be starting around midday and going on until about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening. Last year worked out so well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. we'll just have more of what we had last year. I think we're going to have more acts. We're going to have more games, and in the obvious amazing marquee that we put together.
And as if by magic, because I knew somehow this conversation would come up, I have our advert that didn't come up. It should have come up. No.
Yeah, you're just rusty, Jamie.
It's because computer. It's on the other scene, but I did put in the.
Yeah,
the
that's
advert.
very helpful. Very helpful.
Yes. Don't move anywhere. Let me go back to that scene so I can show it to everyone. Just by doing this and just by pressing this. There we go. And it should be coming up on the screen now.
Yeah, that's there, the Reading Pride FOD one. And you can see down there at the bottom a couple of pictures of what our marquee looked like last year with all of the rainbow roof and the amazing furniture and stuff outside as well.
Yes. And Gary, hello back. I've got a visitor. Let me show you.
Hi, Mano.
I have to work this out and work out how to change cameras. There we go. So he's come in. He loves Daddy this week. Just this week. And unfortunately you can see where I've been doing some caving. Now where have you disappeared, Brendan? Let me just bring you back up onto the screen. There we go. So the dog has come in to join us. Do you know what? The other thing I felt really guilty about with Reading Pride, because last year was meant to be my last Reading Pride, wasn't it?
Jamie, can I just say something now? You were the only one that thought it was going to be your last Reading Pride. None of the rest of us did. Oh, look, there's delusional Jamie again.
Sorry?
There's delusional Jamie again saying it's going to be his last Reading Pride. We knew you were going to be back.
You sound tinny now. Because obviously last year I got that. So it's not been taken out of its packet since I got it. It's because of the move to break it. So I feel guilty going back. In fact, I saw Kirsten Bays when I came back to the memorial. And I'm pointing at you over there, but I realise as I'm pointing at the screen, I need to actually point in that direction for it to work. And she made a joke and said, "Was there really any way you weren't going to come back?" We
Who said that?
One of the trustees, Kirsten, at Reading Pride.
Oh yeah.
And why do you think, Brendan, it's so important to have something like Club F.O.D at a Pride festival?
Well, it's like we were saying at D Radio when they were talking about like who the headliner was going to be and stuff, when we were asked by Reading Pride to go along and be interviewed as well. It's like Pride is fine and it's a brilliant occasion and you can go along with all your friends and all the rest of it. But what if you're by yourself? It's a bit like coming to the Blah by yourself. It's never an easy thing to do. So it's important that we actually do have someplace within Pride that people can just go in, they can just sit down by themselves, or they can sit outside if they don't want to go into the marquee, because we've got the 2 seating areas outside, and just chill out and relax and enjoy themselves. They can join in or not, but it's just someplace for people to go that they don't feel isolated, because when you're walking around, there are people like with all their friends and their families and all the rest of it, and that can be a bit intimidating. So come to Club F.O.D and our marquee, and we'll kick it out of you.
And I can add into this that actually every person that walks through that tent does get spoken to. A hello as minimum, as we always say at any Club of the event, which is lovely, because actually if you've had your hello and you don't anymore, that's fine. I'm not going to bombard you. So looking forward to coming down, and I'm not hosting this year. I get to just talk to people now, which is lovely. So we can't actually name the acts just yet. Not
No.
we had this press release process or this sort of stuff, but we do have a number of acts. Bingo will be happening again, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it'll be more or less like what we had last year. It'll be the bingo and the karaoke. Oh,
We had
yeah.
a
What
game,
else?
didn't we? I think.
Yeah, we had kind of card games. Yeah, card games up on the stage and stuff as well. That's the ones for the ones that are feeling a little bit braver to go up on the stage. We had like 3 or 4 games, I think, last year.
It was a long day.
Yeah,
Remember everything.
very.
And then I don't think many of us could party afterwards. I think actually some of us didn't go to the big party. We went to a place where we could sit down.
Yeah, well, we went to the Blah, but that's like such a long queue that we were actually leaving. So it turned out then that what Mark Abercrombie, he just said, Gordy, every 20 minutes, bring out drinks for Martin and Brendan. Because like, it was about like 5 or 6 deep. It was ridiculous. But that made us stay. The fact that we were kind of getting, well, it was more bike stand service than table service, but it worked for us. And of course,
And
we were
I
there all day Thursday and all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then we were back again on Sunday. So if anybody on that's watching this wants to, feel free to volunteer with putting up the marquee and taking it down on the Sunday.
Yes, every bit of help, always welcome. Gary is very
Absolutely, absolutely.
welcome to remind me, and I should have done this as well. So I do apologise to everyone
Oh
out there.
yeah,
The FOD is putting in a. So I'm trying to burp discreetly. Putting in a parade group this year because we weren't able to do it as much as we have done previously last year. Because actually, even going to the parade, some people the parade is a protest. It's pride, really. Not everyone can go on their own. So you've seen the comment that I've seen as well.
yeah.
We get to see other comments here that you don't necessarily see out there, and so I have to sift through the sensible ones and not sensible ones. So we are putting a parade in for people who want to join with groups of people, and actually helps you meet people to go into the festival side itself as well, and that will be join forces with the Blah and other venues in Reading as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. So it'll be very exciting. I will share this one. This one's come from Amy. She says, "Will Gary stand to be dressed as Johnny Cabs again?" Now I remember this joke from last year, and I still don't know who Johnny Cabs is. Although this could be another spelling mistake from Amy, and it could be Joan of Arc. Could be anything, really. So you may have to confirm if that's correct or not, Amy. But your comments keep us going, even if it's tittering to ourselves at the end of it. So we've got a lot happening with Club F.O.D. It sounds like, Brendan,
Yeah.
and a lot more in the future to come, which we'll talk about. Well, not just talk about. We'll be sharing with you.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah, but
can.
there's no
Oh,
need,
sorry, go on.
there's no need to talk about everything in the first week. You can leave some topics for next week.
I'm alluding to stuff ready for next week. But Brendan, something got released or dropped this week. Did you want to mention that?
Well, now that you not so subtly mentioned it,
I thought
I
that was
suppose I
subtle.
better. No, I'll tell you. Like at last week's Club F.O.D, I don't know how many of you know Jennifer Jade Bevan. If he were involved with us during the quizzes and whatever during lockdown, we'd have our quizzes and then we'd have the after parties, and some of those after parties went on until like 5 a.m. And we became really, really good friends with Jade and her other half. But she started learning how to write songs and stuff during lockdown, and to play instruments. Now she's already I don't know, is it a degree or a master's degree that she's actually got in music now? But just as just to give you an idea about how talented this woman is, Jade. She like one of her songs got taken up by Calvin Harris, and he had a massive hit with it. And like she's recorded with Becky Hill. Uh, she was saying last Saturday, "I'm really sorry that I won't be able to do the Pride stage for you next week because this year because I'm going to be in Israel." Oh yeah, stop! You're just showing off now. But when we were going off on Sunday morning over to Martin's family, she messaged and said, "Would you guys mind if I actually wrote a dance anthem for Club F.O.D and the Blagrave?" Uh, Literally about 3 or 4 hours later, she sent something back. There was some minor changes, I think, on Monday, and yeah, it's up on where is it? SoundCloud. So if you go to SoundCloud and she goes under Avamo Music. So if you type in Avamo, AVAMO, and if you go down, there's actually kind of like a song there called FOD Extended Remix. And she did that for us just because of how much she appreciated all that we were doing, that all we've done for the last couple of years and whatever. And because she had an amazing night at our beach party night last week. And I just think that's amazing. So talented, so talented.
I was proud to share that on the social media for F.O.D during the week. Obviously, my hearing is a little ornamental, so I have to keep playing it over and again to hear all the words. But
Yeah. And Joe, what? Each time I listen to it, the more I like it. Again, you hear more. Even as a not deaf person, every time I hear it, I hear more. And yeah, just so talented. And so proud to call her a friend.
yes, I haven't seen it for ages, but you can. It's on Spotify and SoundCloud. Or if you go on social media, if you go on our page, actually, we've shared the link to it as well. I can't remember. So Spotify is free, but usually you've got an account. But SoundCloud, you can just go on and play quite easily. Gary says fantastic. And then I did show it a minute ago. Johnny Cabs was a robot cab driver, the visual Total Recall. Brilliant. I haven't seen the original or the new Total Recall, to be perfectly honest. So I'll do that. Amy just says she's passed through the Severn Tunnel. Phew, out of Wales. Not a fan of the country, it seems. We are winging our way to the end. 2059. We've got 1 minute. Brendan, always a pleasure to see you. Brendan is one of I have 3 best friends, and Brendan is one of them. As is Lawrence, and the other one blocked me on everything. So I was a good friend.
Jamie, can I just say something? I can't believe Mano blocked you.
Ruby's letting us know, don't watch the remake. Okay. So I've got to watch the original if I watch it.
Ruby, to be fair, if we have to watch you, we can survive the remake.
I've got to figure about watching the original series. You probably don't remember this one because I'm skipping. Did you ever watch Survivors on BBC?
No, kind of bits and pieces.
When there's a pandemic and it wiped the world out and that sort of thing.
I think I watched a different version of that one.
Oh, I saw a 90s version. I think it's 90s. And then I found out there's an original 70s version on, I think it's on BritBox or one of those sort of channels. And I was watching it, and it's very, very 70s. But it's just like the pandemic all over again. And there was a TV, and there was a picture on the screen of a man with lots of toilet rolls. And all I could think of was Martin's Quizlet.
Yeah, our first one.
If you get the chance to watch it, it's a bit like life in Wales, really. Amy says, which order is Brennan one of your best friends? I bet he is number 3. Well, if one of them blocked me, he's not going to be number 3, is he?
Who the hell blocked you?
Oh, I can't tell you.
You can message me that later.
Yes.
Yeah,
block
message me
there we
later.
go. So, Brendan, always a pleasure.
I think I just figured it out, but okay.
There was only 3 of us when I won Miss Lever UK. That should help.
Now you're frozen.
But yeah. I will see you at Rewind. Is the next time I will see you now.
Yeah.
I'll be camping.
Can't wait for that. That's going to be great.
Or just camp.
If you're walking, if you're walking, you're camping.
Yes. So the rainbow tent will be out. Hedrick says there's only room for one TV in my house. Oh, that was someone trying to be a bit facetious. Trans lives matter. Very proud of that. So apologise for showing that comment without noticing. Hedrack, live up to your name. Enjoy life. Now, Brendan, this leaves me to say good night. God bless.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being involved this evening. And
I have absolutely no notice whatsoever.
And Gary's just shared the link to SoundCloud in the comments. So thank you,
cool.
Gary, for doing that. So I will see you all next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, give or take a minute, depending if the internet works. We only have internet on a Wednesday. And in the meantime, have a lovely week. You're at the window of the weekend now. Be safe, be good, keep being fabulous. And remember, if you can't love yourself, I don't know, love a KFC, who cares? And I'll say good night, God bless, and leave you with this.